What's good, my peoples? So let's talk about time. Some of us have time, some of us do not have time, correct? Would you say that's fair? But the thing is, when you're thinking about time, it's endless, right? Time never ends. It's always going consistent, right? Every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every week, every month, every year, it's just going, 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 going. But we always saying we don't have time. So how is that possible? If time is endless, how do you not have time? The thing is, we all have time. It's just starting to understand our time, which is going to help us to gain that time. That time that we feel like we're missing out on different things that we want to do, whether it's, family time, friends time, more work, just more leisure time, whatever it might be. It is a way to gain it so you can maximize it. And how you do that is understanding your moments. Because when you can understand your moments, then you start understanding that time. Because moments create time. Every single thing you do, every second, every minute, every hour, every day, every month, every year, you are creating different moments that are happening at certain points in time in your life. So now let's start understanding those moments. So you understand those moments, and guess what? Now you I can program my time because I understand the moments that are happening in my lifestyle all the time. Now, how do you understand those moments? All moments are created by habits. We all have habits, no matter who you are. Short, tall, medium, big, tiny, blue, yellow, green, black, white, red, orange, it doesn't matter, right? We all have habits that we form over time. Habits are created by all different type of things that take place in our life. It can be, your childhood, growing up, different things transpire within that. And, that created habits as you get to adolescent. You create habits as you get to a young adult. You create habits as you get to adult. You create habits as you get to the elderly. You create habits. We are always creating different habits. Some habits we are perfecting more because the more you do something, the better you get at it, right? Like, say work, you go to work, you clock in. That first day, you I don't know nothing. Maybe I know some little aspects of the job, but I don't know the job. But each day, right? You're going to work every day, right? You're going 5 days a week, 40 hours. That's what majority of people work. Standard work week. Obviously, sometimes you work more or whatever. Even sometimes you make a little less. You work a little less. But the simple fact is, you are building that routine. You are being consistent with going to work, and you get better at your job. It's the same thing in life. We continue to do things, and our habits continue to get better, or they continue to get worse. So what you want to do to understand those moments, you want to understand the habits that are happening in your life. And it's all different type of habits. We have what I call them is more like the main habits, the major ones, like working out, like going to work, like spending time with my family, like those are the main habits because those are pretty much the moments. Now, what I call them is the habit connectors. So those are like time management, procrastination, right? Shyness, spending habits. All different type of habits. Obviously, it's a lot of them. And we all have some of them. Some have more than others. Positive habits, negative habits, you know? So now how do you understand the habit? So we know how to understand the time is understanding the moments, right? You understand those moments. Now you can start creating that time that works for you, right? So then you have those moments. How do you understand moments? You start to understand the habits because the habits create the moments that you're having, whether they are good, whether they are bad. And then how do I understand the habits that are happening? And that's as simple as following your lifestyle. From when you wake up to when you go to bed. What did I say? The more routine you are, the more consistent you are with something, the better you get at it. So as far as those habits, you need to figure out what habits are for you. Because like I said, there's so many different habits and some have some habits, some don't have some habits. So you must figure out what is your habits that are happening. What are those habit connectors? What are those main habits? What are those moments that are happening in your lifestyle? Because a lot of times we try to go mimic something, but we are all different like DNA. So you must figure out what fits you. And how you do that is, like I said, routine consistency. So you want to start off in the morning, right? Let's start figuring out what do we do in the morning? Like, what does our morning look like? You know, like what is the first thing you do? You know, like what is the most important thing? Like what is something that I hate doing? You know, what is something that I love doing? And now you start following that every single day. Routine builds consistency. And we start shifting to our mid part of our day, figuring out what's going on. Like, what are those moments? What is my time looking like? Or what habits are creating it all? And then you go to the night and you gradually build all of this, all of this knowledge about yourself, all of this research that you are conducting, and you are going to start to understand the habits, because that is the main key. That is the beginning of the formula, is understanding those habits. But how do I understand them? So now we are understanding those habits. You start correcting things that are happening within your life. Like if you're always late, now I know why I'm always late. You know, if you're not spending time with your family, now I know why I'm not spending time with my family. If I suck at my job, now I know why I suck at my job. If I hate my job, now I know why I hate my job. Whatever it might be. You start to understand those things. And that is all within habits. And then once you can really start to understand now, then you can shift that focus to start going back in time and start putting more pieces together and understanding like, okay, this is why I've always done this habit or thought this way. You know, maybe your parents told you something like you need to make sure you clean your room every day or you're going to have bad luck. Whatever. You walk under a letter is bad luck. Whatever. You know, somebody might have told you something, a mentor, a sister, a brother, a cousin, friend, whatever. And you've always went with it and never done any research on why. But now you can start doing all that stuff and putting more pieces together. And now your future is even brighter because you just don't understand now. You understand the past now. And let's really create that future that we want to create based off of real knowledge, real information about us, about you. Because that's what it's about, is understanding who you are. That's how you get better at anything. I don't care whether it's building a business. I don't care if it's being the best employee, the best student, the best husband, wife, brother, sister, whatever it is. How you become the best is understanding you. Because when you can do that, now you can start shifting that energy towards what you really want. Then you start creating those positive days versus those negative days, because We all have days where we just sluggish and just not on top of our game. And we just like, why? Why today? Not today. Why can't it be tomorrow or yesterday? Whatever. But when you start understanding who you are, your life, it's when you start to be able to correct those things a lot faster, right? Think about an athlete or something like that, and say you basketball and your shot is just bad, you know that shot bad, right? The more you practice shooting, right? The more you understand the little things that you are doing wrong to make that better now. Because now you really are focused on, okay, how do I improve that shot? Not just, I got a bad shot. That is trying to solve a problem with a problem, not a solution to a problem. Did you get that? Because when you sit there and focus on it being bad, the negative energy, you don't solve the problem. Now, when you focus on the positive energy, I understand my shot. Okay, this is how I flick my wrist. And okay, it might be going up too high when I shoot. That's solving the problem. That's creating that positivity. Now you got more of a positive outlook on things that are going on. And that's what you start creating. You start understanding how to be positive versus negative. Because now you start seeing how all that negative energy is shifting to things in your lifestyle that are not healthy. The things that you really do not want. Because we all want greatness. I don't care who you are, whether you say you don't or or you do, you do. Because that's what we live life for. We start at a young age and we become better and better, greater and greater and greater. That's what we want to become. And how do you do that? Understanding yourself. And it comes down to the 4 values that we do every single day. That's how you start it. Like I said, you get that routine in the mornings, right? Midday, at nighttime. Now, how do you break that down to simplify it? Because I always say just kiss life. Keep it super simple. You start off with the 4 values that you have been doing for your whole life, that we all do. Every single day, from when you're born to you're no longer here. I don't care. You don't avoid them. If you do avoid them, it creates issues. The 4 values. Self. Every single day, you must take care of yourself. Understand who you are. What is my purpose? Activity. You roll out of that bed, you're doing some form of a movement. And what are you doing? You are creating power. Nutrition. We all need that stamina to get through. Some drink coffee, some drink Red Bulls, some drink 5-hour energies, whatever. You need that energy to make it happen. Finance. You are dead as soon as you're born. It costs money. And I always say it don't matter if you're a bum on the street or if you got all the money in the world. You deal with finances every day, which is freedom. So those 4 values, self equals purpose, activity equals power, nutrition equals energy, and finance equals freedom. If you can use those 4 values while starting to understand those habits, which are going to allow you to create positive, great moments, which is going to allow you to gain time to do all the things that you have wanted to do in your life. Let's kiss life and let's do what we need to do. And it starts now, today. That's as simple as it is, because you are not changing nothing in your life. I always say that's the worst thing you can do is just eliminate something right away. Just think about smokers. They stop smoking right away. Majority of them go back, right? Any type of addiction, any type of thing that you have. If you just stop, you don't understand why you stopping. You do not understand what that is creating, because sometimes stopping create more of a negative downspin than continuing to smoke in the first place. So now is the time. You don't have to change nothing. Only thing you start doing is observe it now. and becoming aware of who you are to become great.